All right, well, let's talk more about the public side now.
Yep.
With Peloton going public, we're going to incorporate that into our conversation of this week's stocks to watch. So it just went public. It's still early, but what do you make so far of the stock's debut, and then putting that in the context of the story and the business model? I mean, you mentioned this is one of those more tech-enabled companies.
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a few themes that we can address here. It's primarily a hardware business. They had a bit over $900 million of revenue last year. I want to say about 20% of that was this kind of recurring subscription that you can pay for to get access to all their content. But still, the lion's share of the revenue is coming from their hardware production of their treadmills and their bikes, which have become very, very popular. The company grew over 100% last year. But they're very two businesses, and between the kind of recurring revenue subscription business and the hardware business. And we've seen hardware historically struggle both in the public and private markets. You have businesses sort of like GoPro or Fitbit, which trade at much, much lower multiples, probably below 1x revenue, while you have SaaS businesses that trade in the double digits. So I think investors are sort of figuring out still exactly what kind of business Peloton is going to be. They clearly were able to convince many sophisticated institutional investors that the subscription side of the business, the recurring revenue side of the business, is going to continue to grow and become a larger percentage of overall revenue. And that's been the case. The subscription business has been growing faster than sort of the sales of the treadmills and the bikes. But I think investors are going to want to see more of that and get comfortable with that, so that Peloton's multiple stays relatively constant. And if they're going to be growing the subscription business, then we might actually see some multiple expansion in the future. But right now, I think it's too early to tell. We'll see how things go in the next few earnings releases.